anything that you might need to hand. So a bottle of water, some weights of some description for our weighted workout. Well, I do think I'm still a little bit wonky. Sorry, I've had to reset my camera, and then I'm still on a bit of a wonk. Yeah, so make sure you've just got some weights to hand if you'd like to use them today for our weighted work. As always, just some cans from the kitchen cupboard will be fine. If you do have dumbbells or any heavier weights at all that you'd like to use, then feel free. Oh dear, sorry, hang on. Let's get this camera, it's now slipping, tightened up. Apologies, everybody. Okay, that's better. Okay, yes, so weights to hand, water to hand if you need it, and that's all we need today. We don't need any extra kit. Obviously, if you want a warm layer or a cushion or a blanket or anything like that for our relaxation at the end to make yourselves comfortable, then please do that if you want to. So today we're going to work on, we have looked at this before, on what some people call like a pyramid sequence. So we're going to work on building up, adding on, starting with one move, adding to 2, then 3, then 4, building up and running the sequence back to the beginning and then adding on each time. This is just a really great way to help get our brains involved as well as our bodies. And it's also a really good way to build strength, especially in our weighted work. Often when you're just working on one thing, it can feel a bit boring and you kind of maybe don't put as much effort in. But when you mix things up and add extra moves in, then you're able to keep it fresh. And then also, especially with the strength work, you're challenging your body in different ways from perhaps how you would usually. So it's just a really nice way to mix things up a little bit. So we're going to start with our warm-up, go into our weighted work, then do our pyramid sequence, and then we'll finish with our relaxation and mindfulness as usual. So just beginning by checking in with our posture today. So making sure the feet are planted on the floor, that you're sitting forwards in your chair, so coming towards the front edge, sitting up tall so the back is off the rest of the chair. Thinking about lengthening that spine all the way up and out of the top of the head, sitting tall, shoulders down away from the ears. And we're just going to start. I invite you to close your eyes if you want to, just by focusing on the breath. Just spending a moment here, noticing the rise and the fall of your chest, the flow of the air in and out. And while we're breathing here, we're just going to take a moment to check in with our bodies. Notice if there's any aches or pains, tight spots, carrying in the body today. Just pay attention to those for a moment. Notice where you're carrying any tension in the body. And then take your attention to your mind and just see how you're feeling today. How have you arrived at today's session? Are you feeling calm? Or perhaps you're feeling a little bit chaotic? Is there anything playing on your mind? Do you have lots of energy? Or are you feeling quite tired? Just check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling today and what's going on in your mind. And then we'll return to this at the end of the session. And just notice whether there's any differences after working with the breath and the body, whether that makes us feel any different in the mind and in the body. And then returning that attention back to your breath, we're just going to wake ourselves up with 3 energizing breaths. We're going to take a big deep breath in, and then instead of a long exhale like we usually do, today we're going to take 5 short exhales, one after the other, releasing that outward breath. And then take a big deep breath in again. And this just helps to bring a little bit of energy to the body. So sitting tall, making lots of space for the lungs. Start with a big deep breath in all the way to the bottom of the lungs, shoulders away from the ears. And then breathing out with 5 short, sharp exhales. Excellent. And again, big deep breath in. Sitting tall, taking that out all the way to the bottom of the lungs, and then 5 short, sharp exhales. Lovely. And one more time, big deep breath in, sitting up tall. And again, exhale 5 times. Lovely. And then just allowing that breath to come back to a nice natural rhythm. And opening your eyes here if you want to. And just starting to warm the body up. So taking the ear to shoulder, rolling the chin down to the chest, and taking the ear over to the other shoulder and back in the other direction. And just noticing as we're doing this, whether you're feeling any difference after those energizing breaths. Do you feel a little bit more wakeful? Just take a moment to notice whether that's made any difference to you today. Okay, 2 more rolls here, warming up through the neck, down the shoulders, and then bringing the head back to the middle, and moving to the shoulders, taking some big circles all the way up, back and down. And as you roll the shoulders back, notice the opening of the chest. And we can add the breath in here as well. So breathing in as we roll the shoulders back, breathing out as we roll them forwards. So combining the in breath with the open chest. Lovely. And noticing as well any clicking or cracking in those shoulders, any releasing of tension or tightness. Well done. And then continuing the circles, but this time with the hands on the shoulders, elbows out, taking those circles round, introducing the upper arm into this. And then releasing the arms all the way down. And then taking a big shrug, drawing the shoulders up towards the ears, squeezing here as you inhale. And then exhale and release and drop the shoulders back down. And then we're just going to take some gentle twists. So you can either place your hands on your hips here or on your shoulders, keeping the elbows at shoulder height. And we're just going to gently twist from side to side, trying to keep the feet, the knees, the legs nice and still. So we're just isolating the upper body, twisting from side to side. Taking the head with you, so we're keeping the spine in a nice line. Very good. And then coming back to the middle, releasing the arms. And then we're just going to take that twist a little bit further today, breathing in and reaching all the way up, making sure the shoulders are dropping down away from the ears. And then as you breathe out, we're bringing one hand across the body to the opposite knee, keeping the knee nice and stable as you press against the knee to twist and open the chest to the side. And you can, with that back hand, just gently take hold of the seat or the back of your chair and just help to open that chest to the side a little bit further. And just make sure here that we're still sitting tall in the spine. So if I just turn to the side, we're still sat tall in the spine. We're not slouching over the legs, sitting tall, reaching and looking round. And taking a couple of big deep breaths here. And as you breathe in, see if you can sit a little taller. And as you breathe out, see if you can twist a little bit further around. Excellent. And then releasing and coming back to the middle to do the same on the other side. Big deep breath in, reaching the arms all the way up, making sure the shoulders are dropped down away from the ears. As you breathe out, twisting to bring the other arm across the body to opposite leg, and then opening the chest to the side, taking the gaze out and round towards that back shoulder, sitting tall, twisting through the spine. Breathing in and sitting tall, and breathing out and seeing if we can twist a little bit further. And then returning to the middle, then coming into our cat and cow poses here. So placing the hands on the thighs, and then pressing the chest through the arms, looking out ahead and opening to cow pose. And drawing the tummy back towards the spine, rounding in the back, tucking the chin down, looking down towards the tummy in cat pose. And again, cow pose, breathing in, cat pose, breathing out. Cow pose, breathing in, and cat pose, breathing out. And again, do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, last 1, 4. Excellent. And coming back to sitting, and then moving into the hips. So taking that one leg up, drawing it up towards you, holding onto the shin, and drawing some gentle circles around here. So remembering you can have the hands over the top or underneath, whatever's more comfortable for you. Waking up those hips, sitting tall as you do this. Lovely. And changing direction. Well done. And placing the foot back down and swapping sides, lifting the other foot, making sure that you're sitting nice and forward on the chair here to allow space for the hip to move. And then changing direction. And placing the foot back on the floor. And then working down into the feet and the ankles. You're just rising up onto the toes and back down. And keep that moving up and down. Go all the way up and all the way down. Feeling that starting to travel up into the backs of the calves as well. Do 4 more here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then just taking the legs out. So we're going to take some gentle kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well done. And then just extending one leg at a time and taking some nice ankle circles here in one direction. And changing direction. And then swapping legs. And changing direction. Brilliant. Bringing the feet back down. And then just finishing the warm up with some gentle salutations. So finding that nice posture again, sitting tall, pressing down into the chair with the bottom, down into the floor with the feet, and then taking a big deep breath in, reaching all the way up. Shoulders away from the ears, breathing out and folding forwards, coming down, breathing in and coming up to a half fold, hands on the knees, nice straight back, breathing out, folding all the way back down, breathing in and sweeping all the way up, breathing out, hands down the middle. Let's go again, big deep breath in, reaching all the way up, breathing out and folding forwards, breathing in, coming up to a half fold, reaching the head on the diagonal way, nice long spine, breathing out, folding back down, breathing in and sweeping up. One more time, breathing out, hands down the middle. Here we go. Big deep breath in, reaching up, breathing out and folding down, breathing in, coming up to a half fold, breathing out, returning to the full fold, breathing in and sweeping up, breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Okay, excellent, well done. Hopefully we're feeling a little bit warmer now. It's gotten a bit chilly over the last few days, so it's really important that we make sure that we're nice and warm before we do anything too strenuous. So from here, we're going to pick up our weights. So whatever you've got to hand, if you want to hold on to those, and we're going to start looking at this pyramid structure now. So we've got 4 different arm exercises today. I'm just going to run through each of them so we know what we're doing. The first is a simple bicep curl, so making sure the shoulders are up, back and down, holding the hands facing out away from you, and we're just curling the weights up to the shoulders and back down. Simple. And then the next move is going to be a side raise. So turning the hands so they're facing in towards the body, and we're lifting the arm out to the side at shoulder height and back down. Our third move is a front raise. The same movement, but this time the arms are lifting up in front and back down. And then the last one is a shoulder press. So the arms curl up towards the shoulders, and then they press up to the sky and back down and uncurl. Okay, so we're going to start with the bicep curl first. And we're just going to do 4 in each round. So let's just get going, and hopefully you'll see what this pyramid structure is all about once we've begun. So we're starting with 4 bicep curls. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to add in our second movement. So we're going to do 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 4 times. So 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And now we're going to add 3, 1, 2, front raise, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, and now we're going to add the shoulder press as well. Here we go. Bicep, side raise, front raise, shoulder press, and again. Bicep, side raise, front raise, and shoulder press, and again. Biceps, side raise, front raise, and shoulder press. One more time, all 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excellent, well done. And placing the weights back down. Just taking a few gentle shoulder rolls, giving the arms a little shake. And just taking a gentle stretch in the arms now, bringing one arm across the body, hugging it in with the other arm. Breathing as we stretch here. And then swapping sides. Lovely. And releasing. And then just a gentle stretch in the wrists and the hands. So bringing the hands together at the chest, pressing the hands together, drawing the wrists down towards the bottom of the chest, keeping the elbows out to the side and pressing the hands together here. Stretching along the underside of the wrist here. Okay. And then curling the fingers down the middle, bringing the backs of the hands together and taking the same stretch. So we're stretching now along the top of the wrists. Okay. Lovely, well done. And then just giving everything a little shake. Okay, from here we're going to come up to standing and turn our chairs. So standing up, turning the chair so that the seat of the chair is facing you. And then we're going to come into our sequence. So just like we did with our weights, we're going to build this sequence up, starting with the first round of movements and then adding on each time. Okay, I'll talk you through it. We'll go at a nice, easy pace. This is a bit of a workout for the brain as well as the body. So we're starting with our feet hip distance apart, standing tall, shoulders up, back and down, tucking that tailbone under, and then taking a big deep breath in and reaching the arms all the way up overhead. Breathing out and folding down to the chair. Breathing in and reaching a nice long back. Breathing out, folding all the way down. And then breathing in and sweeping back up to standing. Breathing out and hands down the middle. Okay, that's part one. Now we're going to add part two, which is some cat and cow stretches. So breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, folding down to the chair. Breathing in as you extend. And now we're adding cat and cow. Breathing out into cat. Breathing in to cow. And again, out as you come through to cat. And breathing in as you move through to cow. Breathing out as you bend down. Rising up, breathing in, breathing out, and bringing the hands down the middle. So that's part one and part two. And now we're going to add on part three. Back to the beginning, sweeping all the way up as you breathe in. Breathing out, folding down to the chair. Breathing in and extending in flat back. Breathing out as you move through to cat pose. Breathing in and coming through to cat. Breathing out, coming back to cat pose. Breathing in, coming back to cow. Breathing out as you lengthen the back. Breathing in, reaching all the way up. And this time we're going to step back and come into warrior one. And if you want to here, you can use the chair. Just checking in that we've got the back foot at 45 degrees, the front foot with the knees tracking over the toes. Reaching up, breathing in, breathing out and sinking down. We're holding it here for another round of breath. Lovely. And then coming back to the chair, stepping the feet together and taking it on the other side. So stepping the other foot back, sweeping up into warrior one, breathing out and sinking down. And another round of breath here. Lovely. And then coming back to the chair, stepping the feet together, breathing in, long back, breathing out, folding down, breathing in as you roll all the way up to standing, breathing out and bringing the hands down together. Okay, adding on again, this time we're going to add on a warrior two. Breathing in, coming up, breathing out, folding down, flat back. Breathing out as we come through to cat. Breathing in as you come through to cow. And again, cat. And cow. And then rolling all the way up to standing. Holding the arms here as we step back into warrior one or using the chair for support. Breathing in, reaching up, breathing out and sinking down. And again, breathing in and getting a little bit lower into those legs. And then here we're going to open to warrior two as we breathe in and sink down as we breathe out and holding it here for another round of breath. Lovely. And then sweeping the back arm down, stepping forwards, coming back up to mountain to do both on the other side. So coming into warrior one first, breathing in, reaching up, breathing out and sinking down. One more round of breath here. And then opening to warrior two. And the same again. So 2 rounds of breath in total in warrior two. Before dropping that back arm and sweeping back up the mountain and breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Ready to add on. We've got 2 more to add on. So here we go, breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, folding down. Breathing in, coming to flat back. Breathing out as you move through to cat. Breathing in and opening to cow. Breathing out, moving through to cat. Breathing in and opening to cow. Breathing out and folding down. Breathing in and sweeping up. Breathing out, stepping back into warrior one. Breathing in, reaching up. And breathing out and sinking down. And again. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, sinking down. Opening to warrior two with the next in-breath. Breathing out and sinking down. And holding it here for another breath. And then sweeping the back arm through, coming up to standing, preparing for warrior one on the other side. Breathing in as you reach up, breathing out as you sink down. And again. And then opening to warrior two, breathing in, breathing out and sinking down. Breathing in here, breathing out and sink, we can get a little bit lower. And then sweeping the arms all the way up. And then breathing out and bringing the hands to the chair. And then stepping back into downward facing dog. And then lifting one leg, extending behind into three-legged dog. And then drawing the knee in towards the chest. And stepping the foot back down. And doing the same on the other side. So lifting the leg, extending away into a three-legged dog. Keeping the hips square with the floor, bringing the knee in towards the forehead, and then stepping it back down. Returning to downward facing dog before stepping forwards, bending the knees, lifting through the arms, breathing in, breathing out, and coming down the middle. To do that again from the beginning with one more to add on. Breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, folding down. Breathing in, opening to flat back. Breathing out, cat. Breathing in, cow. Breathing out into cat. Breathing in, cow. Breathing out as you bend the knees and sweep all the way up as you breathe in. Stepping back into warrior one as you breathe out. Breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out, sinking down. And again, breathing in, reaching up. Breathing out and sinking down. Next in breath, opening to warrior two, and then sinking down. And again, breathing in and breathing out. Sweeping that back arm through, stepping forwards, breathing in, breathing out and stepping back to warrior one on the other side. Breathing in and reaching up, breathing out and sinking down. Holding it here for one more round of breath. And then opening to warrior two with the next in breath. And sinking down as you breathe out. Sweeping that back arm down, stepping forward, reaching all the way up. And then breathing out and folding forwards, stepping back into downward facing dog, so pressing those hips back. Lengthening through the arms. And just taking a couple of rounds of breath here before picking up one leg, extending it behind in three-legged dog. And then this time we're going to take three mountain climber legs. So it's going to come in and out. And as you bring the knee in, I want you to think about squeezing the tummy and then extending. One more. And then returning the knee in and stepping the foot down, ready to go on the other side. Extending away, holding for a round of breath, and then drawing the knee in and out. In and out. In and out. And then curling the knee back in, stepping the foot down. And just returning to downward facing dog one more time. Before stepping the feet forwards, softening the knees, breathing in and scooping up, breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Okay, so you see here how we've managed to build a whole sequence Just starting with a very basic salutation and then adding pose after pose. We've now got a whole sequence and we're just going to run that through one more time, taking our time, really enjoying the poses as we work through the sequence. So back to the beginning. Big deep breath in, reaching the way up. Breathing out and folding down. Breathing in, going through to your flat back position. Breathing out and coming up to cat pose. Breathing out, moving through to cow pose. Breathing out in cat pose. And breathing in as you move through to cow pose. Breathing out, bending the knees. Breathing in as you sweep all the way up to standing. Breathing out as you step back to prepare for warrior one. Breathing in and reaching up. Breathing out and sinking down and holding it here for another round of breath. And then opening to warrior two. Breathing in, reaching through the arms, breathing out and sinking down. And again. Lovely. And then sweeping the arms through. You can come to the chair here if you need to first, before breathing in and reaching up. Breathing out and stepping back, ready to come into warrior one on the other side. And another round of breath here. And then opening to warrior two. Breathing in and reaching, breathing out and sinking down. And again. And then dropping that back hand, sweeping through again. If you need to use the chair here, that's absolutely fine. Breathing in and sweeping up. Breathing out and folding down. Then we're going to step back into downward facing dog. Pressing the hips back. Lengthening through the arms. Thinking about dropping the chest down. Drawing the chest towards the thighs. Soft knees. And then from here, we're extending one leg behind. Holding it for a round of breath. Before drawing the knee in and out. In, breathing in. Out, breathing out. And again. And then curling the knee in before placing the foot back on the floor and changing sides. Going to three-legged dog and holding here for a round of breath. And then bringing it in and out. In and out. One more time. In and out. And then curling the knee back in. Or placing the foot back on the floor. And returning to downward facing dog one more time. Taking your time here, 2 to 3 lovely long breaths. And then gently walking the feet back towards the chair. Softening the knees. Sweeping all the way up to standing as you breathe in. Breathing out. And bringing the hands down the middle. Excellent. Okay. So from here, I'd just like to work on a couple of balances. It's going to feel very similar to the exercise we just did from our downward facing dog with the leg lifting and then extending. But we're going to do it from standing. So if you want to turn your chair so that you've got the back of the chair near you for that extra support, we're going to, I'm just going to turn slightly on the diagonal so you can see a little bit better. We're going to work through two poses, Flamingo and Aeroplane. Now we're going to start with Flamingo. So standing next to your chair, the leg that's furthest away from your chair is the one we're going to lift. So we want to shift the weight into the leg that's nearest the chair and then lift the toes of the other leg. And if you want to here, you can take the free arm out to the side. And this is our Flamingo pose. So this is step one of Flamingo pose. You can hold it here. Or if you want to lift those toes off the floor, you can. And if you want more of a challenge, we can try bringing that knee up to hip height. Okay. And then from here, we're going to bring the toe back down through the middle and then extend it away, keeping the toe off the floor, coming into aeroplane pose. Now it's up to you here. You can keep the toe on the floor if you need to. You can lift them off just a centimetre or so. Or if you want a bit more of a challenge, we can start to tip coming into aeroplane pose, just making sure you've got enough space behind you. Okay, and then dropping the leg back down through the middle. And we're going to start again. So what we're going to try and do is link those, the flamingo and the aeroplane, and keep it dynamic. So we're balancing at the front and the back, but we're also giving our bodies a little bit of a strength and a balance challenge while we're moving. So it's not a static one, this one. This one's a nice dynamic move. So starting again, this time we're going to try and link 5 flamingo and aeroplane 5 times all together. Do remember, if you need to stop, touch down, regain your balance at any point, please do. Okay, here we go. So starting with flamingo and then moving through to aeroplane. And flamingo. Aeroplane. And if you want to think about adding your breath here, we're breathing out as we lift. And breathing in as we extend. Lovely. 2 more to go. Last one. Excellent. And then bring that foot back to standing. Give your standing leg a little shake out. And then we're going to swap sides. So you can either turn around or you can move your chair to the other side. Okay. Hands out of the way. So preparing on the other side by shifting your weight onto your standing leg that's closest to the chair. Taking the arm out to the side if you want to, or you can take your hand on the hip, wherever you find helpful. And then lifting up to flamingo, moving through to aeroplane. Thinking about the breath, moving out and in. Out. In. 2 more to go. Excellent, well done. And releasing, giving the standing leg a shake. Okay, very good. We're going to do that again on both sides, and this time we're going to double up the quantity. So we're going to do 10 on each side. So really building the stamina here, seeing if we can link 10 all together. Really focusing on our balance, on the strength in that standing leg, and also using that breath to help. So as we breathe out and lift the leg, that's helping us to engage those tummy muscles to help lift that leg and balance there, and then releasing as we breathe out and take the leg behind. Okay, here we go. Arm out if you want to. Take the weight into the standing leg nearest the chair. Breathing out, lifting the leg. This is number 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. Halfway, well done, keep going. 6. 7. 8. 2 more to go. 9. And 10. Excellent. And then bringing the feet back down, giving that standing leg a good shake. I'm sure you're starting to feel it now in the glutes and in the back of the calf. We'll give all of those parts of the legs a good stretch out after this. Changing sides one more time, keeping it nice and balanced. We're doing the same on both sides. Preparing on the other side, shifting the weight into the leg closest to the chair, picking up the toes of the other leg, extending the arm if you want to. Okay, here we go, breathing out, lifting up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, halfway. 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, and 10. Excellent, well done. Feet back to the floor. Give that standing leg a good shake. Okay, and then taking some stretches now to release some of the work that's gone into the glutes and the back of the leg. So turning your chair so the back of your chair is facing you. And we're going to take a stretch for the glutes here. So holding onto your chair for balance, lifting one leg, bending the knee, taking it out to the side and crossing the leg over on top of the other thigh. Okay, so taking this position with the legs. And then we're going to bend the underneath knee and press the bottom backwards, folding in the hips and stretching into the glutes on the side of the lifted leg. Stretching here. Very good. And then coming all the way up and swapping legs. So lifting the other leg, bending the knee, crossing the foot on top of the other thigh. Bending in the knee, pressing the bottom backwards, folding, and stretching through into those glutes. Breathing into the stretch. Excellent. And then nice and gently releasing. And then we're going to bring our chairs back to the middle so that we can take a seat. We're ready to stretch the legs out. So sitting back down, going forwards on your chair. And we're just going to take one leg out in front, pushing the heel along the floor, toes pointing up to the ceiling. Sitting tall, taking a big deep breath in and reaching up. Breathing out and reaching forwards towards that front toe. Keeping the toe lifted. Stretching down the back of the leg. Breathing through the stretch. Trying not to let those shoulders hunch as we reach. Keeping nice and long. And then bringing the foot back in and swapping sides, extending the other leg. Big deep breath in, reaching all the way up first. Lengthening through the spine and then breathing out and reaching forward. If you can reach forward with both hands, then please do. If you need a little bit of support, and just placing the other hand on your thigh. And stretching here. Now releasing, bringing the feet back in, and then just taking another little stretch for the glutes and the hips here. Lifting one leg, placing foot on top. Now you can just stay here, breathing in and lifting up. Or if you want to, you can tip forwards in the hips slightly, bringing that stretch a bit further round into the glutes as well as the hips. Very good. And then releasing and swapping sides. Breathing in, sitting up tall. And just stretching here if that's what's working for you today. Or tipping forwards from the hips and stretching a bit further into the hip. And then releasing and bringing the foot back to the floor. And then just one last release in the back. So a little bit like our cat and cow, we're going to start with the arms open, pressing the chest forwards, and then breathing out and hugging the tree. So it's just adding in a stretch through the shoulders as well as a nice stretch in the back. So hugging the tree, tucking the chin to the chest, breathing in and opening up, stretching all the way across the front of the chest here, breathing out and round in the back, hugging the tree, tucking the chin to the chest. Let's do a few more of these in our own time. Go with your own pace, work with your own breath here. Two more. Lovely. And then sitting tall. Okay, so we're just going to bring the focus back to the breath now. So staying sitting tall, thinking about that lovely long spine, shoulders down away from the ears. And again, I just want to invite you to close your eyes. And we're just bringing our attention back to the breath, noticing whether we're still feeling a slightly elevated heart rate, whether that heart rate is starting to come back down. And we're just going to take a few conscious, slower breaths. So not the big, deep breaths that we do at the beginning, but just starting to slow that breath down. So see if you can just consciously take some slightly deeper, slightly slower breaths. Bringing a little bit more calm back to the body after working really hard. See if you can notice that heart rate starting to slow down a little bit. And then taking your attention to your body, and as you breathe, notice if you can feel any remaining tight spots. And notice if there's any difference in the sensation from the muscles that have been working hard in this session that might be feeling warm, possibly a little bit achy now. Does that feel different to any tension or tightness that you might have been feeling at the beginning of the session? Is it a different kind of sensation? Have you noticed whether any tightness or any aches or pains perhaps are feeling a little bit lessened by the session today? Are there any spots in the body that still feel a bit achy and a bit tight? So then we're just going to spend a minute here giving ourselves gentle little massage. So noticing if there's any parts of the body that feel a little bit tight and achy still. Perhaps it's the shoulders, then you can take one side at a time, taking the hand up to the shoulder on the opposite side and giving those shoulders a little squeeze, a little rub, helping to release any last knots, tight spots, tensions. Perhaps you might still be feeling a little bit of tightness in the feet. When you bring the foot up into the lap, give the soles of your feet a little rub with the pads of your thumbs. Making sure that we're focusing on both sides, even if one side of the body is feeling more achy than the other, but still work in a nice balanced way on both sides of the body. Perhaps we're feeling a bit of tension in the face, so we can take a gentle face massage, drawing the fingers up through the center of the eyebrows, out across the top of each eyebrow, down past the temples, and then taking a couple of gentle circles at the cheeks. And then starting again, bringing the fingers up along the nose, up through the center of the eyebrows, sweeping across the top of the eyebrows and the forehead, working down through the temples. Maybe stop here and a few gentle circles on the temples before bringing the fingers down to the cheeks and giving a gentle circular massage in the cheeks. And then also working on the jawline, drawing the fingers down from the jaw to the neck. And any other tight spots you might be noticing, see if you can just spend a moment gently massaging any tightness or tension away from that area. Work on where you need it, what's right for your body. And then from here, shifting your bottom back in your chair now, coming to a nice restful position, still keeping the spine long, keeping the chest lifted so that we're creating space for the lungs to breathe to their full capacity. And then taking your attention from the body to the mind and noticing any differences in how you're feeling or thinking compared to the beginning of the session. Has anything changed? It's okay if the answer is no. It's all just about paying attention and observing what's going on in the mind. And then you might be noticing that the brain is still quite busy, and that you're feeling a bit distracted by all of the thoughts, feelings, plans that are bouncing around in your head. While we're sitting here in our chairs, we're just going to take a moment to be a little bit mindful and see if we can start to clear those minds a little bit. Instead of sitting on your chair, I want you to imagine that you're sat underneath a big, beautiful tree. And you can hear the gentle breeze rustling through the leaves. The sun is shining down, creating a beautiful dappled shadow across the ground underneath the tree. The ground is warm. And you can feel your body starting to relax against the trunk of the tree as you sit And take in the sounds and the sights of this beautiful tree. And you take your attention and see if you can notice what colours you can see. You notice the colours of the leaves. Are they all the same colour? Or perhaps there's a range of colours in the leaves of the trees. Are there any berries or fruits growing in the tree? What colour are they? And then taking your attention to the sounds of the tree. Can you hear the breeze gently rustling in the leaves? Perhaps a little mouse or rabbit or something else burrowing nearby that you can hear. Perhaps there are birds in the branches of the leaves overhead, gently singing their song. And then taking your attention to what you can feel. Do you feel the gentle breeze on your skin? The warmth of the sun? And if you find that you are struggling to relax and focus on this tree and the sights, sounds, and sensations, and bring your attention back to your breath. And just imagine that the back of your chair is the trunk of the tree. And that as you breathe, you can feel the rise and fall of your breath through your back, pressing into the trunk of the tree. It's almost as if the tree is breathing with you. You can feel the trunk behind you. And it almost feels like it's moving with you as you breathe in and you can keep on building up this picture of your tree, how it looks and how it sounds, how it feels. Make it as detailed as you possibly can. Focusing on each individual part until you have the complete picture. And then once you've done that, we're just going to spend a moment sitting underneath a beautiful tree and just allowing your breath to flow through you and into the trunk of your tree behind you. Still as calm and as quiet as you can. And starting to wake our bodies up again. Start with the toes, giving those a wiggle. With the hands, giving the fingers a wiggle. And then taking a big yawn, stretching the arms overhead. And then placing the hands on the tummy and the chest. Just bringing a little bit more attention back to the body and the breath by taking our energizing breaths one more time. So breathing a big deep breath in and 5 sharp breaths out. And again, big deep breath in, sitting tall, filling the lungs, and breathing out 5 short, sharp breaths. One more time, big deep breath in, sitting up tall this time. And breathing out 5 short, sharp breaths. And then bringing the backs away from the chair, opening your eyes, and taking one last big deep breath in to reach all the way up, and breathing out and bringing the hands down the middle. Okay, that's it today. Thanks everybody for joining me again today. I hope you enjoyed the session.